Hello, everyone. Um, yeah, okay. The slides are being slid still. Yeah, it's my great pleasure to introduce you all to our third and final conference of our cycle of conferences at Cytopia. I've been asked today what it is all about. The person who asked me is not here, but he's coming. So what is Cytopia all about? It started with a bunch of friends actually, just having like presentations on things that we're really passionate about, and we realized like, there's really a lot of potential in the minds of Cité. Like we have really great people with amazing backgrounds, and they really have a lot to say. So we thought, why not make it more public? Why not open it to more people? And yeah, we decided to do that. And mainly thanks to Ug, actually. He's the great person of the behind all of this. But yeah, thank you. Thank you. But we also helped our team of Jeanne and me and Berivan. Yeah, Jeanne. And of course, all the people working behind the scenes, like Cité, Tanguy was really amazing, helping organize a lot of things. And there's always more people. And all of you guys, right? Thanks to you. Thanks for coming. Yeah. Okay, so this is the third cycle on AI, and we had different cycles. Skipping a bit through this, maybe you watched it already, or read it already. We had 3 cycles, one about technology, one about society, and now we have creating and thinking in the technological era. That should be interesting. It's not necessarily the things that you talk about in the classical AI conference, maybe, but we have very diverse backgrounds, and so we found it very fitting. Yeah, we have 3 talks and an interlude piano performance. You see them here. Not gonna say too much, but yeah, the first one is by Juan on artificial intelligence in museums. The second one, Siddhartha gives an overview of cinematic rebellions, like cinema and AI. And finally, we have Jeanne actually presenting for a philosophical perspective on AI. Yes, that's pretty much it. And yeah, we try to keep it very short. So the talks are going to be like 10 minutes. We have like 2 questions. We keep it brief so that it's focused. And then afterwards, we have some discussions over a buffet. So that should be nice. So are you ready for the first talk? Then yes, all right. Then we have Juan, wonderful, sorry, wonderful person, and coming from
Juan and
Jeanne. Juan, sorry, Juan, museums. Maybe talking to here so people can hear you.
Okay, thank you.
Je vais mettre sur ton maillot. Plus besoin d'y penser
oui.
si tu veux. Je me permets.
Merci.
Hop, et tu peux aller vers le bas.
Vers le bas?
Ouais. Attends. Le bas, c'est censé être sur le fil.
D'accord.
C'est OK.
Ok.
Ça fonctionne. Maintenant. Je pense ça.
Ah oui.
Ça va.
Merci. Well, thank you very much. Thank you, Hugo, for the invitation and all the Cytopia team for organizing this space of debate around artificial intelligence, I'm gonna do a presentation about how artificial intelligence is already transforming the museums, and the applications of artificial intelligence in museums are huge. So I will try to organize my presentation into 3 main applications that artificial intelligence can have in museums. The first one is artificial intelligence for audiences, the way artificial intelligence can be applied for improve the visitor experience through personalized experiences, accessibility, and interactive tools, and new forms of mediation. And the second part, how artificial intelligence can also help the museum professionals do their job in a more efficient way. And the third one, museums as forums for AI. When AI goes beyond when artificial intelligence goes beyond the tool and becomes a subject for exhibitions to make citizens and people debate and think about the impact of artificial intelligence in our lives. So let's start with the first one, how artificial intelligence can improve the visitor experience. And I would like to start with an example of that I like really much is Phototechia. Is a project developed in the Musée de la Photographie à Charleroi in Belgium. And this is a museum that has more than, in its collection, has more than 100,000 photographies and around 1.5 million negatives. So even if they organize temporary exhibitions, it's impossible to display all the collection. So most of the collection remains invisible for the audience, for the public. So what the museum decided to do is to use artificial intelligence to develop a display with a screen. So what the artificial intelligence do is analyze each image of the collection regarding its objects, the colors, even the emotions, and then the visitors can explore the entire collection through different depths and have their own kind of galaxy and interact with the photographies of the collection and create their own visit and their own experience. Now I would like to show you another example that was developed by the Dalí Museum that I want to show you a video. I can just put it here.
Years, people have attempted to understand my work, trying to find meaning in the surreal, to make sense of the dreams of a historic genius. But how can anyone possibly know what is inside the burning mind of Salvador Dalí? No, they simply cannot. They are mere mortal human beings. But now I can tell you. Introducing Ask Dalí, an audio experience powered by AI and machine learning that allows you to talk to me. Hi, I'm Salvador Dalí, and you can ask me anything. Just pick up my lobster phone.
Why are the clocks melting?
My dear questioner, think not of the clocks as merely melting. Picture them as a vast dream.
Why are the elephants' legs so thin?
Did you really dream all those things?
What's up with your mustache?
How they brought me here is far beyond my comprehension. All I know is that they used something called a large language model in a recreation of my voice. And here I am. So next time you have a question, just ask Dalí.
On the left.
Okay, so the Dalí Museum has this experience called Ask Dalí, and also another experience that is called Dalí Lives, that is also either using like deep fake technology with a huge screen. The visitors can interact with DALL-E, who even take selfies with the visitors and send them to their phones. So, from a marketing point of view, this is brilliant because it's
En ce moment, les
engaging.
écouteurs sans fil JBL TuneBuds sont à seulement 39,99 € sur Cdiscount.
Avec la réduction de bruit, c'est super.
Mais aussi avec la réduction de prix.
Sorry. So, as I was saying, from a marketing point of view, it's brilliant because it's engaging, it's innovative, but this kind of application of artificial intelligence also raises many ethical questions, because when a visitor asks DALL-E, for example, did you really dream all those things? Obviously, the answer is not going to be DALL-E himself who's going to answer, is an algorithm. So here the question is, should we allow or should we use artificial intelligence in this way? It's a debate. And another and final example of artificial intelligence applied in museums is one that has been developed for Fondation Louis Vuitton here in Paris. That is a chatbot. So visitors can scan a QR code in the rooms of the exhibitions and then ask a chatbot all the questions they have about the artworks in the rooms. So the risk I see with this kind of application of artificial intelligence is that maybe the human interaction is lost, and if all the people just interact with the chatbot to ask the questions, and then an essential part of museums, that is create a space of debate and exchange and dialogue, can be lost. So it's also risky, and it's also to think about the implications of that. So passing to the artificial intelligence applied to improve the museum professional work, it has a big potential, because with artificial intelligence, museum professionals can, for example, have auto-generating metadata to generate descriptive tags, titles, catalog entries that make the work easier. Also recognizing images or transcribing documents. For example, museums have a big archives with handwritten letters or documents. So the fact that AI can just transcribe the documents also facilitates a lot the work, and also improving the cataloging with the crossing references with different records of the museum. And another potential the artificial intelligence can give museums is with protecting cultural heritage against the illicit trafficking, because AI can cross references from stolen objects, so it is easier to identify and track the illicit trafficking. Also, the provenance research, when a museum has buy a new object or a new artwork, it has to do a research to identify the different origins of the piece, and AI can also help reconstruct the ownership history and identify looted works. And in this line, the European Union has developed a project that is called ANSHIS, that is also to develop with universities new AI technologies applied for these objectives to fight against illicit trafficking. So, for example, they developed an AI technology it's an app that can scan the objects and to identify if they are stolen or looted or not. And also can help predict predictive conservation with the sensors and AI models predicting deterioration in paintings, sculptures, also with variables like humidity and climate-sensitive objects. And finally, museums as forums for AI, because one thing is using AI as a tool, but also museums have been doing a lot of work to take AI as a subject of exhibition. So a very good example is one exhibition that was last year in the Museum Jeu de Paume here in Paris, that it was called Le Monde Selon l'IA. And it was an exhibition that to rethink and to sensibilize the audience around the application of AI, also to make clear the differences between AI that is analytic and generative. So I think this kind of application and this kind of work the museums can do, not just using the AI, but giving and creating these exhibitions and spaces to think from a critical point of view, is one of the things, the better things museums I think can do in the future years to help this debate around AI. So to finalize, to finish, what kind of artificial intelligence do we want in our museums? So I would say three main factors that in the museums we can think to use this technology in the better way. One is human-centered, an artificial intelligence that enhances the visitor experience without replacing human interaction. The second one, ethical, artificial intelligence that respects copyright, cultural heritage, transparency, privacy, and creators' rights. And finally, responsible, that artificial intelligence that supports the museum's educational and public mission while remaining accountable for its impact. And that's it. Thank you very much.
Okay, so now we have time for questions. Not too many, so be quick. Yeah. Do you have questions?
So, hi everybody. Thank you. I found it really thoughtful and interesting. So, just like my question was regarding like the rights of of using, for example, Salvador Dali voice. How is that gonna get through? Like, what's the legal aspect? I know that you are not like a lawyer, and I agree if you don't know this question, but I just wonder because like I found it really amazing the fact that we can even hear his like Spanish accent, which makes it like beautiful. But in a sense, like he's a deaf person as well, so he has not the right to consent. So it's this family saying, okay, yes, I agree. Like this could be present in other things as well, and could be as beautiful as dangerous. So how museums could handle this? That's my question.
Of course, to do this kind of experiences, there's the museums have also a very important legal team that so to develop this, they have to probably they are paying also the because Dali also has like the copyright, and I don't know if it are the heirs who has to receive an amount, but of course yes, there's a legal issue and a legal and an ethical, because yes.
More questions? Who has more questions? Sorry, I'm here now. You have questions.
Of course I do question. It's my colleague because I'm also a museologist. And my question is regarding example of Ask Dali. Especially, I'm interested in your opinion. What do you think is efficiency of these AI use? Is it really engaging people, or it's more for attracting, but later you need classical mediation for deeper connection?
I think these kind of experiences are more like a marketing, like a marketing strategy more than an education. Because it's a way to make people come, to make people want to do, I don't know, take a selfie with Dali, but at the same time, is what Dali is saying is really useful, or is really, I mean, the visitor at the end will go out from the museum with something new and with something consistent and real about Dali. I mean, I'm not sure that is the best way to learn more about. Yes.
But at least
Yes, exactly. So a marketing strategy.
Wonderful. So I think, well, that was 2 questions. So thank you again, Juan. I can give them to. Okay. I have one more note that I wanted to say, which is we had so usually we would always do a multilingual format because we're in Cité and we have many different countries present, and so our format was also multilingual at least between English and French, and we had a French talk for this one, but it was cancelled kind of last minute because the person who was going to do it, he's just so in demand and he couldn't come. But it was maybe our favorite, maybe all our favorite, I don't know, librarian, Frank from the library. So when you see him, tell him we're very disappointed that the only French talk couldn't happen. Yeah.
And his name is Frank, and you can see him directly in the library, close to every day. So
He's there always. So he will be. I don't know how he will react. Maybe he will be shy for having cancelled. It's okay. So, well, we have another. Well, we have a full program regardless, and we have Siddhartha who will give the next presentation. Yeah, heads up to Siddhartha.
Thank you very much. Is that okay if my microphone is...
Wait, like that. And you can go in the bottom.
Okay.
Bottom is the next. Great.
Great. Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you very much for listening. I'm Siddhartha Minhas. I wanted to preface this by saying that I made these slides with AI, and this is the first time I've done it, but I figured, with keeping with the theme of AI and cinema, and the creative potential of AI and visual storytelling, I thought it would be sort of suitable to demonstrate a kind of case in point with this presentation's aesthetic style. Yeah, with AI. So who am I? I'm a master's student in history and literature at Columbia University in Paris. I'm a professional film and TV actor and a self-taught filmmaker. So I hope that my background can give you a sort of a hybrid perspective into the state of AI today and its impact on the cinematic world, the cinematic industry, with all the legislation, the creative potential, and everything that's going on. So with the historical background, I wanted to plunge into, I wanted to take you back to the French New Wave. This was a conversation I shared with Hugues as we were brainstorming this presentation, and I figured that to look at the past, we can better sort of understand what's going on right now with the switch in the industry. So with the French New Wave, for those of you who are unfamiliar, this was a very important artistic cinematic moment in history in general, and this happened in France in the late 50s to the 60s. And this is when we started to see a more authorial, sort of director-focused, creative control over cinema. Before, it was very quality-based, very craft, emphasis on the craft, emphasis on the literary sort of the narrative and all of this. And then the French New Wave came around with those such as François Truffaut, Les 400 coups, or other films like Hiroshima, Mon Amour, where we started to see much more like on the ground, the mobile cameras, and just this reclaiming of cinematic authorship from these sort of big studios. So you have this emphasis, this strange emphasis on disjointed sounds and shots, moving back and forth in time, so you don't have this continuous literary narrative that you used to have. You have dynamic mobile cameras, and so the camera really became for the director his pen, right? He was writing with the camera. So this term we have today, auteur in English, that actually comes from this moment that we use to describe directors today like Wes Anderson or Martin Scorsese, who have this very authorial, very unique, individualist sort of signature to their films. And so as we turn to our current moment with AI, we start to see how we get a similar kind of shift, but it's through this tool of AI, the production tools, the accessibility that it offers to filmmakers that would otherwise only be possible with, with big studios, with budgets. And a very good example is Dreams of Violets by Ash Kusha, an Iranian filmmaker based in the UK right now who created this film. And it was the first, as far as I know, the first completely AI-generated film that was selected for a big film festival as of June 10th. And in an interview, Ash Kusha talks about the budget that went into the film. So you have $2,000 rather than millions, right, to create these special effects. And the speed as well, the time that it took him to make this film, a couple of months after these very, current political events happening in Iran in January with the the protests and the sort of the violence happening over there, and being able to keep up with that so quickly just after a few months. Kusha really credits to AI and the capacity of AI, something that couldn't have been possible otherwise. I also want to give you an example. As a filmmaker myself, our own uses of AI. So this is a film I co-wrote with my friend who's in the audience right there, Maxime, a brilliant writer. Lily Flowers, A New Chivalry, Fleur de Lys, Une Nouvelle Chevalerie, which is this bilingual short film that's that uses AI twice. So we used it in 2 instances for the poster here, and also for a moment in the film. But both times the AI was subordinated to the story. So here, my friend who's a great graphic designer, Kurt Leclerc, he and I worked on this poster while incorporating prompts that edited footage from the film or footage from the behind the scenes we took of the film, such as, if you can see in the right there, this Ren Ito, who plays this Japanese traveler, tavern goer in the film. And through these specific prompts, we could give him of historical periods in cinema, the 1990s, Koji Yakusho, this famous actor from Japan. We could enmesh the medieval chainmail that he's wearing and this beer bottle and this cigarette to create this décollage that would have only been possible with AI. And the fact that we made this film without a budget ourselves, so we didn't really have the means to hire multiple graphic designers to design a poster just for this film. And then you have this instance of slopaganda, which is what these academics are calling it these days, which is a mix of AI slop, so generated images, with political propaganda. And so there's a moment in the film when one of the characters reveals that his arch nemesis has been fooling around with their English monarch, King Charles III, and Emmanuel Macron, the president of France. And he's created these images of their romantic soirée. And spoiler alert, it ends to the protagonist being lynched. But yeah, this sort of mocking of AI that we've done in the film nonetheless incorporates it as again, subordinated to the story and subordinated to the the human storytelling. So this is a really important question when we start to look at the industry today. I'm not sure if you all heard of or caught wind of the writer's strikes, the actors and writer's strikes that happened not too long ago in Hollywood in 2023, where AI was a big question, and authorship and the human aspect of this writing. So as of recently, you have the Academy Awards, the Oscars, who as of May the 1st have banned AI for writing and for acting. So for the categories of Best Writer, Best Actor, Actress, it's been completely put out of the question. But for other categories, it's a bit more ambiguous. You have special effects, where it's sort of been left untouched. Other categories where the Academy claims that AI hasn't even developed to the point where it can overtake human artists. So they've sort of let it be. And I guess it's kind of, I was thinking about how it's a bit of a paradoxical question, because if it's special effects, it's already not human-made per se. So the fact that AI makes it, it's up for debate. And then you have the US Copyright Office, for instance, who requires human authorship for copyright protection of a script. And the script is very important. The script, this is the foundation for a film. You can't have a film without a script. The makeup artists, everyone, this all comes from the script. So yeah, it's complex. There's been recent deals being signed with A24, this very big Hollywood, originally independent film studio that started to sign deals, a deal with Google to do more research into AI and its filmmaking opportunities. And then you have questions of Disney and these big filmmaking studios, you know, creating synthetic actors, taking performances and meshing them together to artificially render this art. And so when you see an individual like Ash Kusha or me, who's using AI as this sort of means to create something we otherwise couldn't, and you compare that to these big studios who are finding capitalist kind of gains from the incorporation of AI, it becomes very complex. It becomes a very complex discussion of the way to push forward with this. But yeah, I hope to give you a bit of perspective, at least with this presentation. Thank you very much for listening.
So you're not done yet. Do you have questions? No. Well, okay.
So do you think in your next movies you will use AI?
It's a really good question. I don't know for sure. It's not in the plan. It's not in the cards, if I'm honest. But I think that it could be an interesting, you know, even after reflecting with Hugues on this and making this presentation, I think, and with how the industry is changing, it might be worthwhile to consider, because, yeah, I guess there are a few phrases. It's like playing with fire, but if you can't beat it, join it, sort of, you know? If you,
okay.
What was it with Romans, I think? If you can't beat the Romans, join them. I forgot.
I don't know. Maybe in French. Yeah. If you try in French, I can find it.
Okay. But yeah, no, I think that it's like with any new technology, you know, internet and these things, it's very dangerous, and it can be the worst thing that ever happened to us, but it can also be the best thing. So I think it would be worth experimenting with in the future. Yeah. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Maybe we can have 3 questions.
Yeah. I'm just wondering, like, you know, all these movements about independent, cinema collectives that emerged, I don't know, like 80s or maybe even early 60s, which were kind of like about taking the means of production, creating their own studios. I mean, is there some kind of, probably there is like a movement to do a similar thing, like create their own LLMs that created, because I mean, it's not just AI, like a generic thing, it's like what kind of AI, like what kind of LLMs. So is there like something going on where people kind of just develop their own tools for cinema?
Yeah,
maybe you can talk about?
Yeah, with, actually I was reading, there was Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck has, you know, the Batman for a little while. He created his own AI sort of system, and Netflix had signed on for it for a while. I'm not sure if they're still with it, but it offered the opportunity to do reshoots, for instance, for certain scenes. Again, that's sort of a saving money tool and things, because now they don't have to reshoot those scenes. They don't have to go back to the set. They don't have to recreate everything. They can just use the AI software to do that for them, and then they don't have to pay actors to come back, and they don't have to do all of this. So, yeah, there are starting to be unique kind of tools suited for filmmaking that are arising from the industry itself. Again, this deal with Google and A24, who knows what can come out of that. Yeah, it's crazy. It's a crazy time. Transformative time. Yeah.
Final question.
Thank you. I'm not sure if it's working. So being a student of theater, I'm just wondering that is it possible by AI we can create a whole film script, and if it's possible, how do you see it yourself?
Right. You're asking if it's possible to create,
and if it's possible, does it question the authenticity of the film or the base of the film?
Yeah, so I do believe it is possible to ask an AI to write a whole script for you. I haven't done it myself, but it is possible. And again, it transgresses a lot of the laws that are starting to be put in place in the States, at least in the context of Hollywood, with writers' rights and these things. But it certainly is possible. And I think, for me, I think that, again, the script is the foundation of everything. So if you undermine the script, if you erode the script's human element, it's not, for me, it's not, I don't think it's a human story necessarily anymore. At least not with how AI is now, because AI doesn't understand emotions, for instance. AI doesn't have that emotional resonance that we do. So for an AI to write a whole script like that, I feel like that takes away a lot. I remember one of my acting teachers saying, however, this is interesting, that if one day AI comes to a point where it is actually it is a human being, like if we develop AI to the point where it has emotions, where it has all of this like a human being, it's basically like birthing a new baby. And at that point, it's a human being, so give it the job, you know? But yeah, that's sort of
Okay. Yeah, that's been 3 questions. Then thank you very much for
Thank you very much.
Okay, so we're gonna have a break from all of this AI stuff now. So what better for the break than to stand up and stretch, right? So come on, guys. Stretch. If you want to sit down, it's fine, but yeah. Okay, just go to the side.
Andreas is our preferred yoga teacher. You have to remind that.
And then maybe roll your shoulders a bit. Just, like I find in conferences we get really tight and so forth. So I think we should sometimes stretch a bit.
Very good idea.
Other side we can roll as well, and then everything's loose, everything's relaxed. Okay, then you can all sit down again if you want. And now we have a very special break from AI because, our conference is called like creating and thinking in the age of AI, and we were talking about AI slop and what's the problem, or what if AI is creating everything? Is that a problem? But now we actually have a performance that is completely created by humans and composed by dear friend Yann, who is a fantastic composer and also pianist. And yeah, he will give a piece that he wrote himself now. So thanks, Yann.
So, hi. And if the time may allow, I'd love to give a really brief introduction of myself and the piece. I am Yann Choi from South Korea, also a resident of the Korean house over there. Also a student in CNCMDP, standing for Conservatoire National Supérieur de Musique de Paris. Quite a mouthful name, this. So yeah, and I would love to present to you my most recent work, which is meant to be performed by a professional singer for bass baritone and a professional pianist. And apparently, I'm not either of them. I'm usually only a composer, and it's really rare that I also work as a performer. But but thanks to our dear friend, all of the organizers of this conference, thankfully I had the occasion to present to you my own piece in front of you, and so thank you so much. And I'm really happy to see this night as being a really wholesome experience for all of us. Yes. The piece is based on a Korean poem, so all the lyrics are going to be in Korean. It says a story about a man. Takes place in winter, during the winter time. Having nostalgias about his hometown, having left his hometown for his studies or his work, etc. So it takes format of a letter that he sends to his families, missing them. So it's called Guryung in Korean, which translates into nostalgia. I hope you enjoy.
밤새워 달리는 화물차에 검은 지붕에 영 달린 산과 산 사이 너를 남기고 잉크병 얼어드는 이런 밤에 어쩌자고 잠을 깨워 그리운 곳 차마 그리운 곳
Thank you very much, Yann. That's great. Yeah, this kind of stuff you can only see here at Cytopia, nowhere else, right? Originals written and performed by Yann. Wow, that's amazing. Again, a reminder that we, part of the conference is the presentations, part is the performance, and another part is, asking questions, socializing afterwards. So if you have questions to Yann, to any of the speakers, or just in general to people who attend this, please remember that when we go out. You're welcome to ask questions. I don't know if we said this in the invitation. You will have to answer questions if people ask you in the break. Sorry if you came unprepared. Well, we have the final presentation for the conference, final presentation for the whole year, so to speak. So it's fitting that it's by our friend and co-organizer, Jeanne. Yes, it's up to Jeanne.
Thank you. I don't know if I... Okay, should be okay. How do I use that? Here? Doesn't... Mais ça va. Mais attends, je fais comment? Ah, ok. Okay. So, good evening, everyone. I'm Jeanne Lechevallier, and I'm going to talk about the topic here, the face tasted by artificial intelligence, or the face put to the test by artificial intelligence. So, I want to first say that I started my research with the fact that a visual landscape, our visual landscape today is saturated by faces in advertising, cinema, in social media, in dating apps, if you tried. And we are always facing faces somehow. And technologies are more and more implied in our relationship to these images of face. So I want to first see with you different dimensions of the face. We have a guest. I don't know. Well, and also just a parenthesis to tell you that I'm not an English speaker. So I don't speak English very well, so maybe sometimes it will be a bit strange. Okay, don't judge. I want to talk about the different dimensions of the face to see where could be the problems. First, there is this appearance, the physical appearance. So that's the first way we apprehend the faces in our lives. Like we see each other, we judge each other, and that's more and more the case when we, with all these technologies, advertising, cinema, we less see the faces directly, but more through some medium, But the face is also the manifestation of the presence. So it's a kind of transition between the exteriority and your interiority. It's not just material, it's also symbolic. It shows a part of who you are, but at the same time, it hides another part. And what about AI in all of this? AI can kind of manipulate the presence. That's the main problem that we face with AI today. It means that, for example, with deep fakes, I don't know if you know this technology, but it allows you to use the physical appearance of someone and to make it speak or act in a way that he never did without his consent. So it manipulates you about like the information it gives you about this person, you know? This person never did this thing, but you think that she did or he did this thing because you saw a video with this technology of AI that shows this person doing something. Well, I'm going to be more precise after. But so the AI is not the problem in itself, but it's our use of AI that could be the problem. And so the core question is, can the ethical face survive its aesthetical reduction to a manipulable image? So can we still conserve responsibility, I don't know, a kind of respect, consideration of the other if we cannot trust the other anymore because of the use of AI, because we can manipulate all the images and manipulate your identity? So first, I would like to, in the first part, explore with you the face as a technical surface. So technical surface, it means that we're going to take into account this first dimension I told you about in the introduction, which is the physical appearance. So we can see in the art history, because I have a double training in art history and in philosophy. So we can see in art history that the portrait is a way to represent, not to reproduce. And there is a big difference. For example, you have here different images of a same protagonist or person, which is the Christ. And the Christ, so Jesus Christ has been represented in, as, for example, a fish, as a phoenix, or you can see here as the Pantocrator, who is the kind of omnipotent God. But you also have the Ecce Homo. Ecce Homo is the suffering Christ, the ones who is hurt and vulnerable. So you have different representations of the same person. And there's no manipulation in it. All the representations are legitimate. That means that the portrait and the representation of a face can be symbolic and not always try to copy the appearance of someone who existed. And you have another example here, which is the Scream from Edvard Munch. And the Scream is an interesting portrait because it doesn't portray an individual, but it portrays a universal emotion, which is anguish. So the face also has a partially a universal meaning. You know, we are all different, but we can feel or find the same feelings in the look, in the face, in what we feel in our interactions with someone. But I'm going to be quite quick on this slide. We have maybe a bit, I don't know if it's more and more, but with the technologies that we're using today, we have an instrumental use of the face. So it is less used as a way to represent symbolically something that belongs to every beings, but it's more used to completely detached from the individual. So I'm not going to talk about the restoration part, but I'm going to focus on the decorative turn, when the face becomes a sign detached from the individual. We can see it with Marilyn Monroe, for example. So I took the example of the diptych from Andy Warhol in the 60s. You can see where he took the original photo, which is for the promotion of the movie Niagara. I don't know if you ever watched it. But well, in this diptych, we can make the link with what Walter Benjamin said in his research, that there is a loss of aura. That means that the image is completely disconnected from the person behind. We're not seeing the actress Marilyn Monroe, we are seeing a product, okay? She became a kind of, I don't know how to say it, merchandise, something that we can consume, and not a human anymore. And this instrumental use, we see it in different examples that are, I would say, exemplar. Like today, I mean, that are showing you how it's very strong now today, this instrumental use. So through advertising, for example, we don't see very well the images, I'm sorry, but in the first photography, we can see Nicole Kidman with a bottle of Schweppes, and her face is used to highlight the bottle of Schweppes. And it's like shows, it's kind of make a link between her beauty and the taste of the Schweppes, and the fact that you should drink it because there is someone like Nicole Kidman who's drinking it. And also a way to instrumentalize the femininity, the beauty, and things like this to sell a product, okay? So it's a way to seduce you. And you have the physiognomy, which is a very interesting example because the physiognomy, it's science that comes from the antiquity. Okay, we can find some references in the Aristotle essays. And this is a science that says that we can read what's inside of you based on your personal, like your traits, you know, on your face, okay? So I put an image from the Charles Lebrun books that are from the 18th century. This is the moment where the physiognomy started to be very famous with the work of Lavater. Well, and there is an association between the face of animals and the human face. Like for example, if you look like a lion, it means that you have a strong character or something like this. If you look like an eagle, for example, means that you're probably a bad person or aggressive person. I don't know. And today, an example that is very recent, so deepfakes, as I told you, and simulacra. Here I have two examples, but I'm afraid to take too much time. Well, the first example is about Taylor Swift. I don't know if you heard about it, but in like 2 years ago, approximately in 2024, we found like deepfakes of her, so images of her, but without any clothes, like completely undressed, naked, or in a sexual context, okay? And it had like an effect of it's how to say that, destroyed her reputation. I mean, not destroyed, but still had an effect on her reputation for a moment, and she had to clarify and things like this. So this deepfake, the way to use the face with the technologies had concrete consequences on her life and on life of many persons who are victims of that. And there is another example that is very interesting, I would say. It's the Jessica Foster example. So I don't know if you know this person also. I mean, she's not a person, she's a synthetic person. She's a woman generated by AI who is very famous on Instagram. She has an account where she shows herself in the U.S. Army with Trump. She supports the MAGA, MAGA party, MAGA, I don't know, movements, Make America Great Again, the right movement. And on her Instagram, there is a biography when she says that she's not a robot. And under that, you can find a link to OnlyFans, where she apparently sells photos of her feet. Okay, so that's pretty funny, but that shows several things. First, that many people trusted it. Like, many people thought that she was a real person, and even if she doesn't exist, she still has even more effect than someone who exists actually. So first she tried to, you know, like grab the attention of a specific public, which is the one who supports Trump, for example. And second, to redirect it to a platform that is OnlyFans to get money. And we don't know who is behind Jessica Foster, who created her, and what is the intention. So there is already a kind of manipulation of the image to get your profit, you know, benefit from you. So at the opposite of that, we have the face, as I told you, in the second dimension, the manifestation of the presence. Because the face is not just material, okay? We have a face, but we didn't want it to have a face. We just were born with it. And there is this philosopher I worked on, who is Emmanuel Levinas, a philosopher of the 20th century, who wrote after the Second World War this essay that is called Totality and Infinity, essay on exteriority, that is published in 1961. And he's originally Jewish, so he had kind of, suffered from the Second World War because of the Nazi violence, you know, and he lost many of his close people, loved ones. So he thought a lot after this war about how is it possible that we thought about an ethical, you know, way of being during centuries in philosophy, but we still didn't find a way to prevent extermination and dehumanization. Sorry. So he decided to build a new ethical project, which is based on the human face, or the face, which is one of the main concepts of Emmanuel Levinas today. And for him, the face is the place of the infinity. Infinity, that means that you cannot control anyone. You can, the face is at the same time a finite material, you know, but finite matter, yeah. But an infinite meaning means that there is always something behind the face, an interiority, and you don't have any access to that. It's a mystery. So yeah, inaccessible interiority. And it's even inaccessible somehow for us, you know. I mean, do we really understand who we are? And by the way, he rejects the word understanding, because for him it's make it rational, but the ethical relationship is not rational. It has to be felt, you know. So the face is not really accessible, I would say, but that's why we have to communicate, because we cannot control it. We don't have any power on it. We have to deal with it. We have to communicate with the face, and the face speaks, not just speaks with the mouth, like speaks in itself. And what does it say? It says, "Thou shalt not kill." So you won't kill. Why it says that? Because for Emmanuel Levinas, the murder is a way, how to say it, an absolute way to try to control someone. You kill someone because it's in the end a way to, you know, have a total way to touch this person, like to just shut his mouth somehow. But when you kill someone, it's because you couldn't control him before. You cannot have a total power on him. So you don't kill, because if you kill, everyone kill each other, because everyone will try to control each other, okay? And we have to deal with the fact that we cannot. It's impossible. And because it's impossible, we have to cultivate responsibility towards each other. And it's going through the face, because the face is the first contact you have with the other. It's the first way you see someone living in front of you. And so there is a kind of paradoxical dynamic inside each of us. At the same time, we're vulnerable, and this vulnerability is our strength, because we can be killed at any time, because we can be touched, we can be hurt. We have the duty to be careful about each other. And this responsibility precedes freedom for Emmanuel Levinas. We cannot be free if we cannot be already able to respect each other. So that's very important, and this is embodied by the face. But the problem is that in a third part, the face is, as I told you, manipulated by us in general, not just with AI, but with images. And how can we still reintegrate an ethical relationship with the face in this era of artificial intelligences? So we have the first problem, facial recognition, which is not which like melts or confuse identification with alterity. But we cannot identify someone, as I told you, if we take into account the concept of Levinas, because we cannot control. We cannot control, so we cannot identify. We cannot define someone. We can try, we can talk with him, we can ask him, but whatever we do we say about him, it will never be true. It can be partially true, but never be totally true. So the thing is that recognition is ordinary, engages memory, interpretation, and affective uncertainty. And in facial recognition, there is no uncertainty. There is a way to categorize the human beings according to apparently natural traits. Because you look this way, because you behave this way, you're going to go in this category. But it's completely avoid or completely deny the historical and cultural bias behind it. Most of the time, when we have facial recognition, it categorizes the human beings according to racist or sexist criteria and not natural. But it's not presented this way. So this technology, for example, this way of using AI goes against an ethical relationship with the otherness. And so it's dangerous somehow for us. But can an artificial face exist? Because still, I don't want to talk about AI as if it was apocalyptical. We are gonna all die and it will be horrible. No. Maybe AI is also a good way to interact with each other. So I have a first example, which is based on LLMs, large language models. You probably saw in the metro station an advertising about the pendant, a necklace, which is called Friends or Friend.com, Well, it's a white necklace, and in the end you have a sphere, which is connected, okay? It's an AI, and when you wear it and you activate it, you receive notifications all the time, and it's kind of talk with you everywhere you are. It follows you, it knows, it listens you, whatever you do, okay? So this is proposed by a startup, okay, to you know, get a simple and immediate friend. You know, you can wear it everywhere you go. It's easy. It's cool, and you don't feel maybe as isolated as you are in your life when you have to actually build and put effort in building relationship with each other, where you find resistance, and sometimes you disagree, and sometimes it's conflictual. So this is a very problematic, because somehow the startup is getting from you some personal data and can use it for against you, or we don't exactly know, but can use it for her personal interests and not for your good. So that's the problem. And there is another problem, of course, is the fact that maybe it isolates you more and more, because you don't have to, you know, well, move and go to someone and say, yeah, hey, you know, like try to meet, which is not easy. Okay, but the science fiction says that maybe it's possible to have an AI that has a kind of conscience, that suffers, that could be vulnerable. We have it in the novel The Mountain and in the Sea by Ray Neller. I really advise you to read it. It was very good, this novel. And there is there are different artificial intelligences in this novel, but there is one character. His name is Evrim, and he's made of different human consciousness. I don't know how to say it. Well, human brains somehow. And he starts to think by himself. So he's still different. He's not human like as we are. You know, he's not biological. He doesn't eat. He doesn't drink. He won't die somehow, but he can still have a conflict of identity inside of him. And that's interesting to see how, like, the science fiction put forward the idea that maybe artificial intelligence can be considered as another, even if it's not human. But maybe what is human is not always, you know, part of our relationship. We're in a relationship with many other things, and we have to maybe redefine what is humanity. And there is a last example I would tell you about, and after, don't worry, it's going to be over. Sorry, it's my phone. Just a second. Yeah, just it's okay. Thank you. So it's the danger of intermediation. Okay, this one for me is very interesting because it's based on the work of an historian that is Juan, where he talks about the Nazi bureaucracy that developed, how to say that, technologies in order to avoid the direct responsibility. So you have many different little groups of people that are doing just one action, which is completely disconnected of the whole process, okay? So in the end, we don't know who killed the Jewish people, for example. You know, who really like put the fire in the gays' room, for example. And this is called intermediation. It's when you have several mediation between the decision you take and the results of it, okay? And AI, it multiplies these mediations, and it disperses the responsibility, so we can feel less and less, you know, responsible what we're doing. We just like use AI for that, and after it's like it did something. It's not me, it did something, and this has this result, and it's not connected to me. So that's the maybe main problem I see today with our use of AI, not AI directly, but our use. And what can be a problem to this new ethical project that proposes Emmanuel Levinas to solve the problem of violence somehow between us. So you have, for example, an explanation here why violence is so easy, because never responsibility, you know. So in the end, it would be great to think about non-neutralizing aesthetics, so images that are not, going against consideration, but maybe like teaching us how to always find a way to emancipate ourselves and not be prisoners of technologies. So I think that a critical and artistic and educational uses can reveal what exceeds so the formalization of the face. So that's very important for me. That comes with the images and the use of technologies, a transmission between us, like this conference, for example. And thank you for being here. And the challenge is maybe to invent images that are not abolishing the other, so that doesn't, just present an image detached from the individual, but that always make the connection between this face and the potential life behind this face. So, yeah, images that are kind of, developing our feelings and taking into account our vulnerability and not showing just something, easy, simple, plastic, that you can do everything with it. So now this is our challenge maybe today in many different ways. I'll let you see how you would do that. Don't take a position against or with AI, but I think now we have to think about the way we're going to live with this technology. Now it's here. And thank you for your attention. It was quite long. I hope it was okay for you. It's a pleasure to talk to you tonight, and I'm glad to hear your questions now.
Okay, questions really quick. You must all be starving, I don't know. Who has a question? Yes. Maybe speak here so that people can hear you.
I'm a bit confused about this, so maybe it won't make sense. But so, as I understood, the main problem is that AI risks reducing face to calculatable datum. So you said that this is a finite matter that represents something infinite, and so the way it does represent something infinite is through infinite number of representations. So the question would be, what limits AI from doing this? And my theory would be maybe that the observer creates the infinity. Is it that?
Yeah, somehow, yeah. I mean, it's like.
So it's basically not encoded in you. It's like kind of I created. No, I mean, if it's in representations, I don't know. It sounds like I smoke weed, but.
Okay, the infinity is not in the representations. I mean, the infinity is in ourselves. Like you, for example, you have an infinite universe somehow. You're not just the person I see now and I can, talk to or touch. You're someone who is thinking about something, who is feeling a way, who will change or evolve, and maybe the decision you will take in 1 or 2 seconds, I cannot predict it. And even if I could kind of predict it, you could still escape my control or my desire of controlling you, okay? So it's the infinity. Each one is inhabited by this. You always have a mystery. I cannot read your mind, but the images, or we can forget it somehow when we are not facing someone who can resist us. So, for example, you can disagree now. You can or have a reaction. And I have to deal with this, okay? But with AI or with some images, it's here to seduce you, and you forget that it's the humanity, the life is not about satisfaction, okay? So somehow we could, in this last slide, we could try to integrate this dimension in the images which goes against advertising, for example.
Mhm.
But this dimension of we're not only matter to seduce you. I'm not just a young woman who is talking to you now. You know, one day I'll be old, one day I'll be hurt, one day, I don't know, I'll be dead. And this appearance will disappear soon, sooner or later. You know.
Don't call me to the conference then.
What?
No, I'm just,
What
okay,
did you
thank
say?
Final question. Okay, Anton.
It's a little bit maybe of a long question, but yeah, maybe I mean we can like talk later. But I'm wondering if like AI kind of shifts the kind of ethical questions to the more epistemological kind of register, where like you can actually apply this idea of Levinas that there's like infinity, like incalculable. It's kind of literally that from the perspective of like somebody who studies like LLMs, because they're like epistemologically opaque. You don't understand like what's actually really going on. Like you can unpack the black box, but you can't really understand what they do because there are just like too many things to kind of calculate. So that's like literally this kind of like incalculable kind of infinity, but that's depends on the kind of human capacity. So for another AI, that would not be infinity. They will just calculate this other AI. So it would then, maybe the question would shift. What would it be like from within the perspective of AI, this kind of ethical stance? Because it feels like all the case studies that you had, they were very kind of human-centric, like what it means for humans that there's AI surveillance, that there is companions, and so on. But, I mean, AI doesn't really care about this, right? So it kind of generates its own face, its own...
Yes, sure.
So is there a way for us to access it, do you think, with these tools from Levinas, or we need something else?
To access what exactly?
Like how, the emerging ethics, I guess, of AI, or the emerging face from within AI, kind of like perspective.
Wow, how we should treat AI somehow?
No, how AI treats itself and
Treats
other
itself.
AIs.
Yeah. To be honest, I don't know how to answer to this question. It seems that AI is such a complex system somehow that it already has a kind of interiority or infinity in itself that like I don't know how it would treat us and how it treats itself, how it integrates this notion of respect, but it seems that it acts with some rules still, like, or I don't know, they are not chaotic, they are not like, I mean, maybe sometimes they can give you some answer that sounds completely crazy for you. But they are apparently kind of organized. But in which way, I don't really know. I'm working in philosophy, so I miss a bit this data scientist background, probably. But I'm quite curious about the way it will evolve and which answer it will give us. Sorry. I'm not sure AI is always thinking in a way to manipulate you, you know?
Sure.
Maybe it's already kind of starting to resist us, you know? We cannot control AI as we want today. You know? We don't understand everything. That's not bad. Maybe we're facing, as in the novel of Ray Naylor, I told you, sooner, is the mountain in the sea. And in this novel, he builds characters, AI characters, that are kind of independent. You know, they are like a different way to feel the life, but they have kind of a, I don't know, feeling of life. You know.
But anyways, I think it's just really cool idea to take Levinas and to make it kind of move it into post-human kind of like territory. I'm kind of sure people have been doing it like with Deleuze and obviously, but like Levinasian ethics sounds like a cool project. So yeah, thanks.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you very much. I'm glad.
Okay, so thanks for that. Okay. So that's all. So, and now I'm going to hold a very long 1-hour speech before you can. No, I'm kidding. Thanks again to the Maison Île-de-France. They've been really amazing. Like they prepared everything. They even gave us more to our buffet, which is absolutely amazing. Now is the part you've all been waiting for, maybe. So there's a buffet. There's some spoons that I brought. If you don't find a spoon, well, tant pis. Please bring them back, though, because they will be missed otherwise.
I have spoons and I have a speaker.
Even better. And I wanted to add one thing, which is, this is it. This is the final cycle for this cycle. It's the third conference, and it also coincides with many people leaving either for holidays, hopefully just for holidays or for good. So maybe take the time to, enjoy, celebrate yourself, celebrate the commencement of our first Cytopia cycles, and also I know our friend Yann is leaving only for the holidays, but it's maybe the last chance to get together like this in this way. So thank you and enjoy.
Merci beaucoup pour ceux qui étaient en ligne. L'aventure s'achève ici aujourd'hui pour la conférence du jour et on se retrouve certainement bientôt. Salut à tous et merci d'avoir suivi depuis votre poste chez vous.